Good evening, everybody. It is 10:15. Punch in and welcome to episode 4 of the NXT Night Shift. I am 1/3 of the Indie Wrestling Guide podcast and live from the set of every 90s and early 2000 college kids' favorite TV show, The Jerry Springer Show, Jay Gold, and with me, and totally not using a torpedo bat, the captain to my Tennille, the Hall to my Oates, the Seals to my Croft, the Tom Jones to my John Denver, the Christopher Cross of this show, sailing to take us away, the host of the On the Mark podcast, Mr. OTM. It's Kyle. Kyle, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, Jay Gold? Another beautiful evening here to talk some NXT, and it looks like the chat is already asking for Stan. Listen, guys, I don't know if Stan is going to be calling in, but you have the power to also call in if you just leave a comment letting us know, hey, let me in, or hey, I want to chat about this. Let's do it. Let's have some fun. Jay Gold, how we doing?
Listen, this week it was one of the week 1 of the Port Youth Activities 4th grade girls flag football league, and we tied. I can see I'm making headway in these kids' lives as absolutely zero parents respond to any of my emails. It was a tie game, 12-12. I told those kids to play on the line on 4th and goal. Those rotten listen, I digress. I did go see the new Jason Statham movie, The Working Man, and everybody, if you play a drinking game with the amount of times they said the word work, you'd still be drunk to this day. Main event moves people. All right. As we say, let's change the channel from NBC4 New York, turn off Battle Dome and Knights and Warriors, tune in to the WB New York. Let's call our friends in Hawkins, Orson, and Pawnee, Indiana, and tell them to turn on the color TV. It's time to tell our stories. We're on a road to WrestleMania 41 in a 2001 dark blue Chevy Cavalier, only slightly damaged from a blindside hit at the intersection in Raritan, New Jersey, and we are stopping at every Phantom Fireworks along the way. Welcome to the Wrestling Road Trip. It is the NXT Night Shift. Now
Yes,
we can
sir.
Get going.
And now we can.
Kyle?
Monologue in the books. Another great one, by the way, I must say. I understood a few more references this time, so I appreciate it. But, man, going into this show, we talked a little bit offline. You know, they didn't really advertise much. We didn't know what we were going to see tonight. We definitely knew we were going to have that North American title match, which we will be talking about. But we got a lot of surprises to talk about and to get into, so I'm excited.
So if we get started, I was very, very surprised that they came out and automatically dumped the North American title, the women's title, right away. Like, I was stunned that they did that. I was like, what? Why in the world are we doing this now? But then I get it. I see you're setting up for Stand and Deliver, but still give the girl a run a little bit more. The whole point of it was to make her look good, and a lot of promoters will tell you the 2 belts looks good. Everybody likes the 2 belts. Nope, dropped it right away, setting up Jordan Grace and Miss Parker. And the only thing I can say about that part, and I'm waiting for you here, is the tossing the security guard spot over the top rope by Jordan Grace.
Oh, man.
God bless the security guard kid, because he went flying.
Literally flying. He probably had 3 seconds of hang time on that toss.
Yes, and he cleared better than if like a guy, like some of the men throwing other men over the ropes. This dude took a full dive and just hung gracefully in the air, landing on another guy. At least they caught him. So
hey, whatever they're paying their extras in WWE, I think it might be like $250. I could be wrong. That guy deserves more money, because I don't know many people that are taking a bump like that voluntarily on a random NXT.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
So that was cool, but like the relinquishing of the titles got a lot of people up in arms. I don't know if you saw the discourse online. A lot of people are aggravated. You seem to not even like it that much, but hey, we talked about this last week, about this exact thing potentially happening.
It's not time. That's what I'm like.
What else are you going to do with it then? Tell me, what would your plan be to get that title off of Stephanie? You're going to have somebody pin her for a secondary title?
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I think honestly, the only thing I would have done, maybe there was only one thing to do, is wait until Stand and Deliver, make her open and close the show. Because how serious they are about women's wrestling. Well, not now. I mean, if they didn't do last week's where she went double duty,
I see.
they could have done it where they gave you both opening stand and deliver, closing stand and deliver, and you had something crazy happen somewhere in one of those. But I was just not ready for that visual to end yet. That she is as hot as they could have the talent right now, and I think he kind of took some cold water on.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know if it's just me on my end, so chat, let me know. But you kind of sounded a little muddled there for a little bit, like you were in a tunnel. So maybe, yeah, you're good now. You sound better.
Let me get back on the mic. All right.
There you go. Hey, we're good. That's what happens when you do it live. But hear me out. I get it. I get why people are mad about it because it is the lazy way of doing it.
Yep.
But at the same time, we've discussed this before. We know Julia was hurt. So they had to pivot and figure out what they were going to do with that title.
Yep.
If let's just say you keep that title on Stephanie Vaquer. Like I said, you're not going to have somebody like Jordan Grace pin her for that title while she's holding the NXT Women's World title. That just doesn't make much sense to me. Could you set up a multi-woman match for it? Sure. But, like, I just don't see the point of her going through another match, going through double duty. So you might as well just relinquish it, and it opens up opportunities for other women's talent on their roster, because we talked about it before. That roster is loaded with talent from top to bottom. So we got to get as many people on the card as possible. I know a lot of people do hate that, but I think it's true. It's the biggest weekend, WrestleMania weekend.
And it's 9:30 in the morning. So if you like breakfast and wrestling, you will get plenty of it at 9:30 Eastern. Holy shit.
Holy shit indeed, because I think somebody got a hold of our phone number.
Not again. All right.
Should we go to our caller?
Yeah, all right. We're just on a roll here, but okay.
I mean, unless you want to keep talking about Stephanie Vaquer, because I could talk about her for days.
No, I think I'm ready to get this one out of the way.
All right, guys, let's bring him in once again. I don't know how he keeps getting our number. Stan from Burlington. Stan, you're on the air.
Hi, it's me, Stan from Burlington.
Hey, Stan.
I don't know if you remember me. Hey, is Mr. Cincinnati there?
No, still not here.
He's not here, Stan.
I like that, Mr. Cincinnati. When do you think he's going to be on again?
Again, he's never been on.
Stan, I don't know.
Oh, hi, Kyle. It's me, Stan.
From Burlington.
From Burlington.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know if you remember me.
I do.
So, Jay Gold, how's it going?
Good, Stan. Good to talk to you again, my friend.
So, Jay Gold, I've been listening to your shows recently. Sounds like you're doing something for your daughter's football team. You're coaching flag football. Is that what you're doing?
I am, actually. If you heard the monologue, I am.
I heard the monologue. Kind of nonsense you think this is? Who listens to the monologue? Hey, Jay Gold, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
So you're coaching your daughter's flag football team.
Yes.
You making plays?
Yes, I write plays. Yes.
Hey,
Stan.
Jay Gold, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
How's your marriage?
It's good. It's good. As good as it can be, sure.
So Jay Gold, here's the question.
Yeah.
You're doing all kinds of plays, right? You have one daughter. Is that how many kids you have?
Yes, one kid.
Right. So I guess, and I hate innuendo.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, your wife, is she helping you?
No, she's not helping me.
Right. If she was, do you think her favorite play would be the tush push? Okay, gotta go. Bye.
There he goes.
You had to get that in, huh, Stan? Got it.
Hey, I tell you what, I am all for banning the tush push as a part owner of the Green Bay Packers, the team that decided to stand up to that nonsense. I support that notion.
Kyle, we went a long way right there for a tush push joke, Stan. So, we'll talk to you next week.
Or maybe we won't. Who knows?
Maybe we won't. Maybe somebody else will come up with good material. So, thanks, Stan.
The hotline's open, guys. You got to send your email. We can make this shit happen.
Fucking guy. Anyway, let's go to Trick and Oba, both arguing over. I think we got a little bit of Trick Williams doing a video, and then they interviewed Oba in the parking lot, the vaunted NXT parking lot, and there might not be anybody with more aura than Oba Femi coming in from the parking lot. So.
I tell you what, man. We've talked about it a lot now in our 4 episodes about just the presence of Oba Femi and what he brings to that brand. They haven't had a guy like that in NXT, and I don't even think ever. Yeah. Just of that size and with that aura, as you said, you can't replicate Oba Femi. They just don't grow on trees, you know? No. Well, that dude's different.
Well, the thing about him is, and I think Javon Evans is as tall as he is, and so is Trick, but his figure, his body, is so much wider than everything else that I don't even know how to explain it. He's just built as different as they come.
Well, did you hear that story that there was when Oba Femi was, I think he was a track athlete at Alabama, that he was being recruited by Nick Saban to come play on the football team? That's crazy.
I don't doubt it. That dude is an absolute menace, and I'm a big fan as we go. So let's go to our first match tonight because I very much enjoyed it. It was Zarya versus Lash Legend, and this was a ladder match qualifier. And all I have is these two women beat the shit out of each other, and I love it. And Lash Legend has come so far that I am enjoying. Every time I find out she's on a show now, I'm happy about it. That's how far she's won me over.
She has grown tremendously. She was green as grass, when she stepped onto the scene. And ever since, Noam Dar left, that really gave them the opportunity to shine. And they've taken that ball and they've ran with it, especially Lash, who seems to get more of the single shine over Jakara for now.
Which I don't get yet, but...
Yeah, maybe they see something more in Lash than they do in Jakara. I mean, let's be real. Look at every tag team that there's been. They always have a favorite. Street Profits, Montez Ford is always the guy that everybody talks about. The Hardys, Jeff Hardy is who everybody talks about. And I think Lash is basically the Jeff Hardy of this tag team.
Yeah, but that's where I don't know if I agree yet, because I thought Jakara Jackson was the one who had more ability as far as in-ring. Yeah. And Lash was more of the personality, but listen, they beat the hell out of each other. There was a chop set right there where they were slapping each other in the chest, and the fans were just going nuts and and getting each other up, because those are two big women, getting each other up for all both their finishers, which are big power moves. Yeah, was very, very impressive. I am not surprised that Zarya won. As I've talked about before, Shawn Michaels has his horsewomen, and those are the ones he's going to go with, and he's going to take them. So Zarya, Jordan, Julia, and Stephanie. And they are always going to be front and center for the time being, and I am just fine with it, because after seeing Zarya tonight, I would be all in on her holding and then her feuding with Sol Ruka for that title afterwards.
Oh, I don't want to rush that so soon. I'm enjoying it. Enjoying it. Zari Ruka, whatever they're calling it. I actually think that's a legitimate tag team that has legs to it. So, I mean, it could happen. It probably will happen. That is probably why they even are partnered up in the first place. But like you said, they kind of have their own 4 horsewomen building down there in NXT currently, and all the shiny new toys seem to get gold really quick when they come to NXT. I mean, look at Ethan Page. That dude won the NXT title within, I think, 8 weeks of being signed to NXT. And then you look at Ricky Saints, his first title match tonight. He wins the title. So they're going to do whatever it takes to get that gold around Zarya's waist.
Well, but the people that they get the gold around the waist so quickly are the ones who don't have to do what these youngsters are doing in NXT. So
develop.
Yeah, to give those kids a chance, you have bigger names holding the belts, and then let them come up and grab it. If you want it so bad, come get it, right?
Well
so said. It works, and it works for me, and I am, I am pleasantly surprised with. And actually, is this a hot take? But the 4 horsewomen of Shawn Michaels, I think, are better than the 4 horsewomen of Triple H's.
I can't say that right now. It's too early to say that. But eventually,
yeah.
Eventually, I could see it. But going back to this match, it's sometimes difficult to have 2 people with similar styles going head to head, because those don't really mix all the time. But this actually felt like a Hoss fight.
Yes.
Two powerhouses going at it, exchanging blows, like you said. It was fairly evenly matched throughout. And Zarya being able to hit that finisher, like you said, on a woman of that stature. I mean, Lash Legend played in the WNBA. She's an athlete. She's a larger woman. I don't mean that as she's fat. I just mean she's very muscular built. That was a very impressive finish to a very strong match between those two women.
And I liked it very much. So, and I don't always like a lot of the women's matches on NXT because I just find them to.
Oh, you don't like women?
There are just too many sometimes. I just think sometimes they kind of lose meaning when there are so many matches, like as far as what they're trying to do there. But I like the setup for the ladder match, and I do think the matchups that they gave us tonight both were very good, and we'll get to that one in a second as well, because after that match we went to the locker room and you had Wesley and Briggs and Inamura and Wesley's guys, Tyson and Tyreek, and they're all going at each other again. And then it goes forward to Kalani Jordan and Roxanne in the same room. And then, but my other question becomes, why is Roxanne still here? What's happening?
Dude, don't get me going with that. I'm not mad about it. I'm just confused.
Me too.
Why do you call her up, put her in Elimination Chamber where a lot of people thought she had a legitimate shot at winning? By the way, there were people predicting Roxanne Perez to win the Elimination Chamber. And then I thought right after she lost, okay, we're going to do Bayley versus Roxanne at WrestleMania. Roxanne's getting that call up. But now she's still dabbling in NXT. It works when you have main roster people come down to NXT for a stint. But I don't like it when you have NXT people coming up to the main roster and then just going right back down to NXT. Pick a lane.
No, but that works. You're right there. And to add the cherry on top is they go up to the main roster, come back to NXT, and then they lose.
Well, that's the rite of passage. That's the typical NXT way of doing it.
Don't come back down. It's not.
I agree.
Let wind up there first before you come back down and start talking about passing the torch. You know what I mean?
So now you have that on her resume. So when Roxanne Perez does eventually become a full-time main roster superstar, well, she just lost to Kalani Jordan, and she just lost to so-and-so a couple weeks ago. So should I really take her seriously when she's coming to Monday Night Raw?
And I find that I'm saying the same thing about Kalani Jordan, is that she was so hot with the title.
Yes.
And she was doing like an open challenge type stuff, and she was always. And then what happened? She lost the belt, and now she's an afterthought, and that's on their booking too. Because again, I feel like once WWE uses up like their champ or like the chase, they have a very hard time booking after the chase. And that's everywhere, but it's hard. It becomes like you ran out of momentum. You're trying to build stars. So what do you do?
Well, that was going to be my question to you: do you think they're trying to build too many women superstars currently at the same time?
Too many stars in general. So what I was going to say was too, and it just popped in my head, when you have 500 people inside that building, and you start to try to build stars, if you don't focus, you get caught up in the wash, and that's what keeps happening to several of these talents. They just get caught up and they're gone. Where's Thea Hale? Where did she go?
Oh, yeah, I think Eric was asking that earlier. Yeah, where's Thea, Sean? Asking Shawn Michaels, where's Thea?
Yeah, Eric.
She could be in that match at Stand and Deliver.
Where is she, though? What happened? All of a sudden,
nobody said anything.
Yeah, they fold up shop, and they're like, well, I don't remember.
Chase U's dead, so Thea Hale never existed.
Right. So what happened? But this match may give us. I'm trying to think of who the 6 will be in that ladder match. I do.
So we already got Kalani and Zarya. That's right.
Yeah,
that's
and
it?
I do think. Yeah, and I think you're going to see. What's her name?
Soul?
Fallon Henley.
Fallon.
And I'm sure Soul might be in this match.
Just for a little tension between her and Zarya.
Yeah, and then
Cora,
and then one of the members of that different hair colored group. Either Tatum Paxley. Gigi or
Shotzi.
Could that be it? I'm not.
Well,
I'm
Shotzi
not sure.
pinned Stephanie. I don't know if people remember that. Shotzi has a pin over Stephanie Vaquer, so that could be someone that could get put into that North American title scene.
I don't know if they're so quick to bring her back, but that's.
Do we even know where she is?
No, I haven't seen. And
I'll search.
Yeah, she's been on and off with. Her sister was sick, and why she cut her hair, and then when she came back, that was a lot of different things. So who knows? In the world. And then we come out of that, and we go to a Tony D segment, which
Oh, no.
listen, Tony D. I was a big Tony D fan. I love The Sopranos, but you know what? As Deadpool said, and I said last week, there was a shit ton of exposition when they started telling us about each member of Dark Universe or whatever they're called.
Dark State.
Dark,
Dark Universe.
well, I have Dark Universe like at Universal Studios.
Oh, there we go.
I'm like Tony D, more like Sonny D, but that's more of a stand joke. But still,
That is more of a stand joke.
right? They spelled it out. They're like, okay, in case you're an idiot, we're gonna lay out each guy's picture and we're gonna tell you their gimmick. Here's their gimmick. And I'm like, come on, what is he doing it for? What's the point? Why?
Why is their group trying to expose Dark State?
Right. And all of a sudden, and you're going to do it. The Mafia is going to expose Dark State for what? And then just so you could get Stacks to turn on Tony D. I mean, that whole thing is.
That's probably the vehicle of it all. That's all this is for. But is that necessary? I don't think so.
No, I don't think it's necessary. I don't think that I need. I don't really need the D'Angelo family drama right now. I don't know if it's even something that I'm interested in. I think maybe they wait. That's another thing.
They need the breakup though. They need a wrinkle, something different.
But that's another thing NXT does. Things go on for too long. So you had Chase U lose Chase U, and then they reformed for calendars, and then they lost again, and now they're trying to bring back Chase U. Then you have the D'Angelo family. When did the D'Angelo family start? NXT 2.0.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Right? So like, let's move on. Like Tony D needs a brand new gimmick. If he has to come out with there are other Mafia guys you can be, Tony. You could be in the movie. You could be from Heat.
Don't give them ideas.
Yeah, he could be De Niro in Heat. He could be De Niro in Casino. He could be De Niro in Alto Nights. He could be De Niro in a lot of things. He just doesn't have to be the D'Angelo family and Stacks as we see it. Everything I see, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we go to the back, and after that, we get some Hank and Tank. And wait, before you say anything.
Honk, honk!
Before you say anything, I was just going to say to you, I think I'm starting to come around.
Liar. You're full of shit.
I'm not. I was enjoying the bits with, and maybe it's because I like Pretty Deadly.
Yes,
but I was
boy.
enjoying that a lot. And then I got to see No Quarter Catch Crew, and I'm like, yes, here's all
Tavion Heights.
I miss those guys. I miss them, and they came back, and that match was actually really, really good. It was fun. And actually, it looks like Tank got himself into some shape. They both did. They don't look like slobs, and hey, guys, don't wrestle in jean shorts. And maybe you got me. Maybe you got something there. So
I tell you what, Tank can go. And we said it last week. Hank can go too. We saw that dive that he did last week. And they're definitely investing into Hank and Tank. They had the Motor City Machine Guns with them last week. They got Pretty Deadly with them this week. I'm interested to see who's going to be backstage next week. But you can obviously tell that they have faith in Hank and Tank. And we've talked about it before. They needed a team to emerge. You got No Quarter Catch Crew that actually looks like a legitimate tag team now.
Yep.
You have Hank and Tank. You're starting to build it up a little bit more. It's only 3 teams. They could use more, but it's something. It's a start.
It is a start, and you're right. And we talked about that before, and I am glad that they are investing. And so we come out of that match, and this is what I wanted to get to because this was awesome. The 3-way promo in the ring with Oba, Javon, and Trick. And that was very good. And my only problem with Javon is he has these like verbal tics.
Bro.
Yeah. Like
he's young.
Yeah. And I get he's going to clean it up, but like the verbal tics were throwing me off every once in a while. And I'm like, you say that when you're around your friends. You don't need to do it in the ring. You know what I mean? Like you got
the timing was off a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta rid yourself of those verbal tics so that you get to where you want to be. But it was really a really good interaction. Oba carries himself like he doesn't have a care in the world. And then you get the Dark Universe coming back, and those guys beat the shit out of all 3 of them. And that quadruple powerbomb spot where they threw Trick.
That was cool.
That was so good.
Yeah.
Like that was cool. Like
that's something.
If you want to take out the big names on the roster, you better do it with a big move, right? And that was a big move.
Could you imagine them doing that to Obafemi? Well, I need to see that. And I think we're going to see it.
Yeah, that probably should have been done instead of to Trick. But I think they were kind of showing you, like, oh, everybody was saying that Trick was probably part of them, right? And remember, because he kept like wandering away, or maybe he still is.
Listen, dude, you know how you get into gangs? I don't know,
Right,
personally. You get beat up. That's how you earn your stripes.
That
This is all a ruse. I'm not falling for this bullshit. Trick's in the gang. He's the leader of Dark State.
I was just gonna say to you, how do you get into gangs, Kyle? How does it work in
You
Indiana?
know, I live 20 minutes away from Gary, Indiana.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, right down the road. I also live 45 minutes away from Chirac. So I might have a couple ties. You know, I'm not going to say to what. We got to keep that confidential on this show. But honestly, nobody's interacting anyway, so nobody's going to rat on me. So I'm a part of the... Never mind. They thought. No, seriously. Javon Evans, this is great. This is trial by fire. You got to figure out what you got with Javon Evans. And he's going to go through these learning curves like this promo here. But physically, like you've said, he stands up to Oba. He stands eye to eye with Trick. He looks the part. This triple threat actually is starting to make sense. And I don't think there really was another option on the table. Because if you look at the men's roster, who else? You know?
Because of where they were going with Ricky Saints and with Ethan Page. So you didn't have that because that's already taken off the board. There might not be three other bigger names than those three. So I think I did like how he kept going back to him and being like, bro, you're just what's his name? No, but when Javon Evans calls Trick.
Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah, he's like, you're just Carmelo Hayes. Ooh. I love that.
I mean, to be fair, hasn't Trick basically just turned into Carmelo Hayes? Kind of
without the move sets, but yes,
right.
I was very much invested in that.
Pick one: Carmelo Hayes,
Carmelo
Williams.
Hayes, always.
Okay.
I love that dude. I think they ruined him on the SmackDown roster. There might have not have been a better series than him and Andrade, and now I don't see Andrade enough, and now I don't see Carmelo Hayes enough. So
enough. I don't even think we see Andrade. Period. When's the last time we saw him?
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm going to will this to happen like we did with having No Quarter Catch Crew come back when we brought it up. So I am going to will those guys back into our lives, and I hope that those two have more matches together.
My screen just froze over here for some reason. I can still hear you and I can still see you, but I'm going to refresh and I'm going to hop back in. So go ahead and talk about something while I do that real quick.
All right. Hey, we're just going to rip off the hinges here.
It's not working.
Oh, Kyle, I hear you and see you. So as we go live, it's live TV, pal. Anyway, so now that Kyle's out of the way, we're gonna probably cover the next set, which is parts of the WWE ID crew, as Andre Chase was meeting again with the backstage paramedics, so to speak. So, I mean, I for one have not seen the guy change his shirt. So if he's going to go ahead and wear the same outfit and still get checked out about the same injury a week later, I would hope that the guy actually had fixed himself up. Kyle, are you still there?
I'm here and I can see you.
Okay.
So I think we're good now.
Yeah, I was talking about the Andre Chase segment where he's wearing the same exact clothes as he wore last week with the same exact injury, sitting in the med
same
bay,
spot,
right, and going, "Hey man, shouldn't you have gotten that checked out after the match when you got hurt? You're still waiting to come back and hold your." He's like holding his ribs, like everything hurts still. I didn't get that.
I must have missed that segment because that was tonight. You said?
Yeah, that was with the two idiots from WWE ID, whatever.
Oh, swipe right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, I'm showing my age. I know what swipe right is because I'm on the dating apps, but they piss me off, and I think that's the goal. And like they're so young and so annoying that I'm like, get these fuckers off my TV. But that's good. That's good heel heat.
Yeah, but they're so annoying and so bad that I don't even think they belong. Like are they supposed to belong?
They're kids.
Yet? Yeah,
they're kids. Like
they're back to Tubi, for fuck's sake. I don't need it here.
Obviously, the tag division in NXT isn't strong enough if they're pulling Evolve talent up already.
Isn't that bad? That makes
That's a sign. That's a sign that you might need to work on your tag team division. Just saying.
Well, shit. We have to deal with those two idiots. So next week they get a match, which is
So we'll swipe left when they're on television. That's how that works, Jay Gold. I'll
my
teach you
boy.
how to app.
My boy Big Sam can't get on the TV yet, but I have to see those two idiots show up and then pretend to like be frat boys. That drives me nuts. I hate
Hey,
that.
Big Sam is gonna get his moment. He's been featured now on multiple episodes of Evolve, so it's coming.
Yeah, he's gonna be ready. So we go away from those two knuckleheads saying like eyeballing Roxanne to the Roxanne Kalani Jordan match, which again, both of these women are good. They both are champions. I didn't expect anything less out of this match. I just don't understand the Roxanne thing, but it is what it is. Like
It is what it is. Like, I mean, at what point we're just complaining to complain? You know, these are two great wrestlers, Kalani and Roxanne. It's just, I can't get over the fact that Roxanne's still just hovering in NXT for now. And Kalani is kind of floating, it seems, in the women's division currently, which a lot of people are, like we've already talked about.
Like that song in the Batman movie, "Arms of Orion," floating in the sea of tranquility, so to speak. That was I think that was Batman. One. I think it was the second Batman movie. That was the one with Michelle Pfeiffer. In case if anybody wants to fact check me on that one.
Comment section. I'm not seeing a lot of people. I see a lot of people watching right now, but you can comment too. We're gonna pull it up, and we can even get you on the screen if you want to come hang out.
Yeah, say whatever the fuck you want. Let's go. So we go. We go from that to we get to see Zarya and Kelani Jordan because Kelani Jordan wins this match, which again, she good. You know, you want to highlight your young people and put them on there. And Roxanne should be probably in a match on WrestleMania instead of, you know, stand and deliver anyway. And you get her and Zarya and Sol Ruka, and she asked Sol Ruka if she's going to be there with her, you know, such and such. So maybe she's not going to be on in that. So who knows? But I do see Zarya Sol Ruka break up, you know, within the next month or two, and then they fight for that title.
So, I'm not letting you talk me into that.
They love her. They love Sol Ruka. She's gonna.
I love them both. That's why I don't want them to be broken up.
But I think Zarya will be the heel, and then Sol. You can't make somebody as bubbly and like bright as Sol Ruka the face. I mean the heel. You can't do it.
Oh no, you cannot. But I mean Zarya, they're just doing a great job, I think, at developing a lighthearted side to her, which is going to be good going forward because I think that'll get more people to support her. Well, so I don't know if turning her heel this quick into her run in NXT would be the smart decision because then who are your top baby faces other than Jordynne Grace? I guess, Stephanie, of course, but
I think Jada Parker's becoming the face.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Parker. Do you hear the chants that come out? Like, I can't
Miss
even.
Parker, Miss Parker.
I don't understand it myself. Like, I don't understand it. You know, like I don't. What,
understand. Them liking her?
Yeah, I don't understand like the hype. Like I get the chants and everything, and they're working. But like, did I ever think when I watched her come out with I think it was OTM or whoever she came out that I was like, yeah, she's as far as the wrestling goes. But good on her. Okay,
She's got the look. Let's be real. And I'm not just talking that she's like physically attractive. Like she just looks like a badass that you want to get behind. I think that's why people like Jada Parker, and she has shown some personality. Like you don't see a character like hers really in the WWE. She is very unique.
Yes, and she's very much a character, and that works really well because I've seen her outside of the WWE, and she is not a character. Like she,
I don't want to see that. Yeah.
Oh no, she's not like a gimmick. Like she's very real, and she seems very pleasant. And
okay, that's what you're.
Yeah, and like I've seen her on like Twitter with like the backstage stuff where she's just being a human.
Yeah,
and sometimes you go, wow, like. You play a great character. Then there's something there that you have something that other people don't have. So
I think we talked about it too. It was on the No Contest Wrestling podcast with O'Shea Jackson. She was on it, and I got that same vibe from her too. I was like, she just seems very humble, so she must be doing it right on screen.
Was she a track star?
Yes.
Is that what she did?
Soccer.
Oh, she was a soccer player. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, those athletes, they also have really good, sometimes the colleges do really good media training and things like that.
This is true.
Yeah, good on her. So we go from that to the main event, which was Ricky Saints and Sean Spears and the Cutlery or whatever they're called. Culling, right. And we have a new champ. I will say the match was very well done. I will say Ricky worked his ass off in that match
Yeah.
to fight off 4 people that I thought was over at certain spots. And to watch as much wrestling as we have and then go, it wasn't over. Good on them. Good. Good. Because you know what? That match was fun and the ending was great. And the fans really were enjoying it. And they were all on top of it.
Did you notice the chants?
What was it? Tony fumbled?
Yeah,
Yes.
they were really loud. That's harmless fun in my opinion. A lot of people get mad about that stuff, but if the shoe fits, wear it. And
listen,
they're not lying. They're not lying.
Well, I'm going to say this. If in the old days of the Monday Night Wars, everybody ripped on everybody. And it was the fans were cheering Bischoff sucks. The WCW fans were doing the McMahon stuff and characters were coming out. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with competition. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging the other companies. They pulled that shit in the 90s and Vince would never acknowledge WCW.
Anyone.
And you know what? It took away some of the fun because if you're in a battle, you should be doing something.
Right?
And to allow it on television now is great. There is no harm in letting everybody bring up stuff. CM Punk running by Drew McIntyre when he got put through the car. Cody Rhodes, Cena saying Cody Rhodes steals billionaires' kids' money. You know what I mean?
Then that's why I don't know if you saw MJF's tweet, and it was after that Cody and Cena segment. He goes, I truly don't get why fans get up in arms when WWE mentions or references AEW, or when AEW mentions or references WWE. If you wanted to be treated like children, watch Elmo. Or better yet, tell Vincent Kennedy McMahon to start a new promotion.
Yeah.
Well said.
I've always liked Max. When Max comes out and says something like that we all are thinking, I have no qualms with us acknowledging everything. It's not like you don't hear Visa going, this is not as good as MasterCard. They tell you they're better than MasterCard. They come right out.
Homes.com and Super Bowl. Yeah, better than everyone else.
Yeah, Coke will come right out and say we are better than Pepsi. Why only
they are.
But why only in the dumb carny world of wrestling are you not allowed to talk about your competition? So, I lost Kyle again on the live feed. So if everybody is still watching me and you can see Kyle's face and he is frozen. So anyway, let me just text Kyle as we are live, and doing things live always comes with something. So hold on a second. Yeah, I don't have Kyle here. All right. Well, if everybody gets tired of my voice, it is what it is. And so episode 4, we are still working out the kinks, so to speak. So anyway, so what I would like more of is for more of our people who view this to try to jump in, ask if you want to call in or if you want to, do a jump in, a drop in on us. And, there he is.
I tell you what, I don't know what's going on with my StreamYard. Sometimes shit just happens, but I want to get this point out before I freeze again, because we're probably going to have to send this one home early because technology's not cooperating.
Yeah.
You alluded to it. I like when they still can surprise us. Yeah. And that ending with Ethan Page did surprise me. But the result honestly surprised me too. You're smarter than me, at least in this instance. I'll give you credit. Because you saw the writing on the wall that Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page was the move for that title at Stand and Deliver. But something in me was telling me that it's just too soon to put the title on Ricky Saints. You don't want to shotgun titles onto people in their first match. But this is the right decision because, like you said, nobody expected Ethan to finish the show by attacking Ricky. And now, going off of what the crowd was saying, Tony fumbled because a big match that's happening on NXT is going to be former AEW champions. Or not champions, but superstars.
And I'm also going to say I called this, the two of them fighting each other 3 weeks ago, saying there is nothing that the way that it just works, if you were filling out the Stand and Deliver card, I think you did mention there had to be a way to get rid of the two titles. So we either called a ladder match or we called some kind of gauntlet, right?
I did say a ladder match on this show.
And I think you said gauntlet also. I'm pretty sure you offered up two very good ideas. So
they're listening.
Yeah. So they might be listening to this show. You never know. They might have rushed over to to listen right after the show, as many of you do, as we know.
Hey, and if you want to listen to us yap about NXT, make sure you're following us at NXT Night Shift on X.
Yes, and if you it looked like our chat kind of went quiet. I don't know if it was part of the mess that we had from StreamYard tonight or whatever. But if
there's still 40 people in here, there's still 40.
I love it. If anybody wants to get on and talk, we're here. If not, next week, let us know and we're gonna go. But we'll let you on and we'll give it a go. But I thought tonight's episode was better than last week. I thought it was a better effort. I thought most of the stories were last week. I think you and I said they shoehorned everything into one episode, and I think this week they let some things breathe, and that's fun. And NXT should be fun. Honestly, every NXT show should be fun. That's why I like 2.0 so much. Everybody hated me for it. I really enjoyed 2.0.
I didn't mind it. Yeah, I had a 2.0 shirt, and I agree with you. I think the word to describe this episode was definitely fun.
Yeah.
Similar to Monday Night Raw this week, where I was like, okay, now we're on the road to WrestleMania. After watching this week's NXT, I'm like, okay, now we're on the road to Stand and Deliver. Now I'm ready to see these matchups. I want to see these qualifying matches. And I'm even interested in Dark State versus the guys that are probably going to have a triple threat for the NXT title with Trick, Javon, and Oba. I think that's going to be good.
But that then again, that falls into one more spot that I always get that I think we've discussed before, is that you have this tag team, this 4-man group that's supposed to be invincible. And now they have to fight the 3 top guys on NXT the very next week.
What do you do?
What are we doing? Right.
What gives?
What exactly are we doing? But if you wanted to get that across,
finish, it's going to be a no DQ or something.
Yeah, and that'll just set up, because we got after that's the week to WrestleMania, and then that's it. So I mean, they gotta.
Which we're off WrestleMania week, correct?
I believe so. I will be in Disney the day of our show. I will be in Disney.
This guy.
And hopefully looking for wrestlers who want to participate in Disney instead of going to Vegas for WrestleMania. A lot of the NXT folks, maybe they'll be at Disney.
Hey, I was gonna say they're not too far away from Disney. But...
Wait, so the schedule for NXT is regular NXT show Tuesday, and then NXT Stand and Deliver Saturday.
Yeah, that's typically how they do it too. But we will still be talking NXT that week, though. Hopefully, Jay Gold will be able to join me. But if you follow us at main_event_net, we got a Mixer Friday previewing Stand and Deliver, so you can get your night shift fix there.
Yeah, it is the busiest main event Mixer weekend. Wait, let me ask you a question. Is this real? I read an article that said for a 9:30 start in Vegas, the talent has to be at the show at 2:30 in the morning to get
no fucking way.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Because they do run-throughs, they do stuff, and they have to be there 7 hours early. Yes.
Oh, you weren't kidding about the 9:30.
Yes.
So that's local time. So this is 11:30 for people that are like me in Central, and 12:30 for Jay Gold over there on the East Coast.
Correct.
Long day of fucking wrestling.
Yeah. And they said that the talent has to be there at 2:30 a.m. Vegas time to do their setup and everything. So I don't know if that article
do it
is
Tuesday.
correct.
We talked about it last week. Stand and Deliver on the following Tuesday on just the normal NXT television show. Don't make it a PLE. Make it accessible for everybody, and just make it a big show.
You know what? That's a really good point. Why
not?
I'm not sure why I'm not sure the infatuation with trying to squeeze every single brand into. You know what? And it goes back to, again, the fact that one day of WrestleMania will, and I know people are going to disagree, one day of WrestleMania will always be better than 2 days of WrestleMania.
No chance. No chance. I can't sit through 8 hours of WrestleMania.
I would rather start the show at 5 and end at 11 than have to sit through 2 days where some of the matches are just meaningless, just so you can get everybody on.
I mean, the last 2 years, there's been no meaningless matches. In my opinion, the last 2 WrestleManias have been flawless. Other than 39, I always will say this, and I was at this one. Theory and Cena was a flop.
That was the first match, right? When Cena came out all pale.
The only bad match.
I hope he tans up for this show. He looks ridiculous. I mean, a muscle. I didn't realize how bad. They joke about it like you could tan away fat. I think Dusty Rhodes or somebody said it. Like if you're tan, the fat doesn't look as bad. Hey, I do it all the time. But I think there's something about when you're so muscular like John Cena and he has no tan. And
it does look weird.
Yes, it looks weird. Like he
And
looks he looks kind of like he looks less imposing. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, and he came out to that WrestleMania with all the Make-A-Wish kids too. I don't want to know what those Make-A-Wish kids think anymore because
Right.
John Cena's a
He runs
bad,
him
bad
down.
man.
Yeah, I wish he came out to that song. By the way, I was listening to that Bumpy
Oh
Knuckles
yeah,
song.
I told you.
So
It
good.
works.
But
It
it's
would be
so
fun.
good. But he even said, and you know what? I think that's even better. That he was like, "Fuck all of you. You're getting no rebrand.
Yep.
You're still getting John Cena. I just don't give a shit about you." And that's amazing, right?
It is. And
I
it
want to
makes
go
sense.
to work like that. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm still Josh that everybody knows, but I fucking hate all of you.
That's how I feel about everybody in general that's not a part of the Main Event Wrestling Network.
That's how I feel
Just
about
kidding.
my co-host on IW Guide. But you know, Charlie.
What are you gonna
Gordon,
do, huh?
Yes, but still, I think the 9:30, 12:30 for the East Coast is okay, but that's only selfish. That's selfish of me to be like, I like that because, you know, I'm coming home Friday from Florida. Saturday would be great to just sit and
Do
watch,
nothing.
Yeah, and watch NXT and do nothing all day.
Eat
So-
unhealthy food, drink a couple adult beverages if you're over the age of 21, of course, and just be a couch
And Kyle,
potato.
are you a Disney guy? You ever go?
Am I a Disney guy?
Yeah.
Brother, from the ages of 4 to 15, every single spring break, my parents took me to Disney World.
That's amazing. So I'm gonna ask you then as we get closer to the date because I have never been to Magic Kingdom. We went to Epcot last summer, and
been
that's the
15
first
years
time
for
I've
me.
been. Dude, that's the first time I've ever been to Florida to Disney.
Dude, I've been to Disney, like I said, probably over 10 times. I've been to Universal over 5. If you need to know, but granted, like I said, it has been 15 years since I've been there, probably. I know a lot about that place.
If anybody knows on the show too and wants to send me tips, but here's the thing, Kyle. I went to Disneyland and Universal Studios California every winter break to see my aunt when I was a kid. So I always thought that was it. And then everyone tells me that Disney, all the parks in Florida are like the best place to go.
That's the Mecca. That's the Mecca right there. Even though I've heard Japan has a very good Disney World as well.
My friend Dom Guarini and Kevin Koo, they went to Disney in Japan and they had a blast. I want to experience it because I've never done it, and my kid has never, and she is just
perfect
dying
age.
Yeah. So if anybody has tips and tricks, all I know is the fast passes are so expensive and holy shit.
So here's another story for you while we close things out here, I'm sure, in a few minutes. I don't know if you knew this, but I got a brother with a disability. So every single time we went to Florida, I got the fast pass for the disability. And it didn't matter if he was riding with us. So I'd take me and my friend, and they would just see these 12-year-old punk kids cutting the line. Space Mountain was 85-minute wait. Nah, it was a 5-minute get on for us. Perks of having a brother with a disability, folks. Take advantage of them.
That's one of my good friends. He gets the disabled pass, but they've taken it away. There's a lot of new rules.
That's bullshit. They would probably crack down on me then. Also, by the way, you mentioned Dom Guarini and Kevin Koo as your friends, like it was just regular people.
Well, Dom's my pal. Like we've known each other now.
Those are cool dudes. Okay,
yeah, they're great dudes. Yeah, they are. And,
you got to introduce me to them because I'm a big fan of theirs.
We'll see. Maybe one day they'll come on the on the show. Even Dom, we can get Dom on the show.
He's got to be Italian, right?
Dom? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. With that last name and that first name, oh yeah. Yes. Let's mix it up.
And if anybody listens this week to Indie Wrestling Guide, there's a new promotion that Pro Wrestling Tees is doing, where if you, as a wrestler, if you order 500 micro brawlers, you can get your own. They'll make one of you, and you have the catch is you have to order 500, and then the other catch.
How much do they cost?
So for 500, it's $4,000, and then if you order 900 with 100, if you order 1,000 total with 100 chase variants, they will make of you. It's $6,500. So 900. So they go down to $6.50. And if anybody is interested in getting a micro brawler made, and I highly recommend, checking out this deal if you want a micro brawler to sell.
You know what? With all this money that's flowing in here at the network, I think I'm just going to buy everybody their own micro brawler.
Yes. Well, here's the kicker. Pro Wrestling Tees has to approve your your
Design?
application. Yes, they have to approve you as a.
So if you're ugly, I won't get a microball.
Right. If you're not a wrestler, I think they're not making you one. I think it said there's like a whole flyer.
I've had a
went out.
match. I've had one match.
Attaboy. There you go.
I'll tell you.
And
I'll
Sean
tell you that
Ross
offline.
Sapp, Indiana versus Kentucky. We could do that.
I will beat Sean Ross Sapp's ass. Come on,
heard it here
Mr.
first.
Main Event, the face of the network versus the face of Fightful. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, you've heard it here first. It's going to be Kyle versus Sean Ross Sapp in a
Place your
death
bets.
match. Yeah. And Kyle said tubes are allowed and so are skewers. So we're going to do
Let's do
like
it.
that.
Hey,
Yeah.
if you're going to do it, do it. You know,
Yeah.
don't half-ass it.
Go all out. And cheese graters and gusset plates. That's what I would like to feel a gusset plate in my head at least once.
No, I'm good. That one is,
Or
I'll
skewers.
pass.
Or skewers.
That I would do. That I would do.
I mean, you have,
Skewers.
unfortunately, I have very little left, but you don't have any there to kind of protect from the skewers. Like,
Yeah.
that would be that's why when the Kogars do it, like Atticus has all that hair, he can just kind of like hide it a little bit.
Oh, that's
But,
true. Yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot about Atticus. I
Yeah.
saw him at, what was it? SummerSlam weekend. Or not SummerSlam weekend. Royal Rumble weekend in Indy. He was working.
yeah.
He worked a match against Megan Bayne and Joey Janela.
Yeah, that was the when they did the finale of that at Hammerstein this winter.
Oh, that's right. And
Kogar
which, by the
versus
way, we don't talk AEW, but Megan Bayne, love the way they're using her so far in AEW.
Yeah. I mean, as a legitimate shot to beat Tony Storm, who knows? But that'll be for another show.
True that.
But if you wanna start doing our plugs, I think we're gonna punch out from the night shift tonight.
That's right. I got to take my vitamins here very shortly, if you know what I'm saying, guys. Don't forget to check out our merch that we have available at the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.com. When I say our merch, I mean the network's merch, because every episode of NXT Night Shift is brought to you by the Main Event Wrestling Network. We got a lot of good things coming your way. When I tell you we have a lot going on behind the scenes, I mean it. I've talked to Jay Gold about it. We got 3 main event mixers lined up for WrestleMania week. Every other show has their own special thing going on too. So make sure you're following us at mainevent_net. You're going to be able to see all the great shows, all the great content being created over there. And if you want to keep up with our show, like I said, we'll be back next week, but we will be taking off for WrestleMania week. At NXT Night Shift is where you're going to find us there. But typically, Jay Gold, we're live every single Tuesday at 10:15 Eastern. Don't forget to subscribe, because we are on the road to 100. I think we're at 66 right now, Jay Gold.
Let's go. We can get more.
We're climbing. We could do it, right? Just tell one person.
Yeah, come on. I go around my office and I sign them up on their phones when they're not looking. So it's all going to work out. And if you want to hear more of my stupid voice, this Thursday, IW Guide, the Indie Wrestling Guide, we have as our guest this week was Peapod. If anybody knows in the Midwest, Peapod is the voice he's the voice of Ruthless Pro, of Neo Pro, of a bunch of different other independents in Michigan and Ohio. He's a great dude. He's also, Kyle, this would interest you. He was he went to University of Akron, I believe. And it's one of the major colleges, but he was a broadcasting major. He did radio for Cumulus Radio from 2009 to 2020.
Oh wow!
And during COVID, he lost his gig, but he's a big wrestling guy, and he had a old rock and roll channel that he did. He was doing a lot of different things. Great voice when you hear him on Thursday, and he also goes into some radio history with me, because I just love old radio. So check it out on Thursday. Yep, IW Guide 1 on the X, IW Guide on the Blue Sky, IW Guide on Instagram, and mine is JGold12. And if you want to bother my co-host Charlie Butters, he is Charlie_Butters. Reach out to him and bother his ass all the time. So.
Yeah, we know Charlie Butters loves the WWE.
he loves it. So if you want to, he
Big
would love.
fan.
Right, if somebody would say to him, "Let's just sit down and talk TV wrestling," he loves it. So
unfortunately, that's the only thing that I talk about, but I do enjoy all professional wrestling.
Hell yeah,
as everybody else should. So yeah, I think it's time we clock out, Jay Gold. What do you say?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right,
Our
we're gonna.
shift is over.
Let's get it over with, guys. Like I said, give us a follow at NXT Night Shift on X to keep up with the show, and we will talk to you guys next week live for episode 5 of NXT Night Shift. We'll see you then.
See ya.
Peace.